What are some of the things that surprised you or that emerged that you sort of learned? What did you find as you did this project that maybe was new to you?
The best and most interesting findings that we had were one, creating those additional feedback channels and just making it easier for our team to have that conversation. It's not that that moved the needle the most, but it's that when we did that before the project got really exciting and people were really involved. So by doing that in advance of that anticipation building, then when people had the energy, they were just able to run because we had provided them with all the feedback and things that they might possibly need and all the channels that they might need. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide and I'll show you some examples of that. We talked a little bit about the branch cards. These are just cards that have QR codes that members can scan and they can review their branch right there in the moment. We talked about the receipt that has the QR code, but we also, something I didn't even talk about earlier in the presentation, we built a landing page on our website. These, once again, these are little, straightforward kind of common sense things that I think everyone would think to do. But what really made the difference is we did them before everyone got really excited, and then they were just able to absolutely knock it out of the park because we had given them all the resources they need. The second thing we did is, go ahead and go to the next slide, is we really built a robust knowledge base. So Qualtrics at the time had a limitation on the number of users that you could have, which since then they have removed. You can have unlimited users, just FYI if anyone's interested. But we had approximately 40 people, maybe a little less, as users in the system. And now I wanted to make sure that everyone in the company knew what we were trying to do. I wanted to make sure that everyone understood our initiatives, that they weren't confused when I was throwing around these terms in updates and meetings. So I built a really robust knowledge base, right? I explain everything about NPS and satisfaction. Why do we care? What all dashboards do we have? What are we tracking? What's the long-term goal for these projects? And it's a space where any team member can learn no matter what they're doing. So everyone felt involved in the cause, even if they weren't directly in front of a member asking for reviews, even if they weren't a direct Qualtrics user, they really still felt like they knew exactly what was going on organization-wide. Go ahead. The next one was transparency and teamwork. This one was really exciting. This one was something that I didn't expect, and it occurred organically, so that was really cool. When I was building the dashboards in Qualtrics, I was thinking through what kind of limitations I was going to have to impose on those dashboards, right? I was asking my branches, hey, do you want to only see the reviews that are your reviews, that are about your branch or you as an individual? And the reason I was asking that is because obviously there's going to be some negative reviews. Obviously, people are going to get some feedback that could make them feel sensitive and make them feel defensive. And we understood that. And so I wanted to offer them, hey, do you need to receive these alone? Like, do you need to just, it's in a closed group? Do you want a little bit of that information blocked off? And universally, all of my branches decided that they wanted to share all of their information, that they were brave enough and vulnerable enough to be open about the negative reviews that they received. And that decision really sparked a change in the project as a whole, because instead of them only going, oh, wow, look at these glowing reviews that I got, they did do that. But in addition to that, they would bring the bad reviews to the discussion and they would say, hey, someone said this, and I see that you had a similar experience over at your branch, because we could see the reviews and we could see the notes and we could see the action that those branches took on those items. And they would say, you handled this really well. Could you coach me through that? Could we talk about this? I'm planning on calling this member and following up with them this afternoon, and I'd really appreciate some practical tips. So it was a safe space to actually improve and to get better on the things that we really needed to work on. And that changed something culturally for us. And that was probably the biggest deal. And it was the collection of building that SharePoint base. It was the collection of that transparency that made everyone really excited for the project. And then that excitement turned into agency, right? And at a certain point, this stopped feeling like a project that I had to manage. And it kind of just felt like a project I was checking in on, because they took control of it. They managed it on their own. They ran it. And that was really thrilling for me because I basically just got to be a cheerleader, So I loved it.